Hey yarn friends, welcome back to LlamaMamaKayla's Yarn Tube. Thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to loom knit this Halloween fall decor and making this cute little pumpkin that lights up to use as a decoration. It's real simple, easy to make, fast, very fast. You can make this in one setting, no problem. Alright, so this is what we got here. And I'll show you what I'm using to do this. I'm using my 24 peg loom with an anchor peg and my loom pick, something to cut my yarn with, some clippers, and a tapestry needle. And let's see. Okay, so I am going to do, for my eyes and mouth and nose, I'm using just a scrap piece of felt. I took an index card and made a little triangle template, and so I just laid this on here and cut it out. You'll see in the video. You can watch me do that. And then I just cut a little mouth. And I think that's all you're going to need. Oh, you're going to need a little glue, and I bought this glue at Dollar Tree. It's a fix-all adhesive. And I will say that I bought this vase at Dollar Tree. The yarn I'm using is Red Heart Pumpkin. And just some scrap felt that I had at the house. But felt, Walmart sells it. Not Dollar Tree. Walmart, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Joann's, places like that will sell felt. And that's all you're going to need to get started on this little project. Now, I did put some lights in here, and I do show that later in the video. You could also try tea lights from Dollar Tree. I was trying to make this project very simple, cheap, and easy. And it is super easy and fun to make. And you can make several of these and set around your home for decoration. So let's get started on making this. Okay, so to make this pumpkin decor, this is what I used as my glass vase. I purchased this at Dollar Tree for $1. I've also saw these at Walmart, and you might can find something like this at Dollar General or Family Dollar or places like that. But it's just a cheap little fishbowl shaped vase, if that's what you want to call it. And like I said, I bought it at Dollar Tree for $1, so you might check your Dollar Tree, or you might have a jar or something that would fit well for this. So just check out and see what you have. It doesn't have to be the exact same thing. As long as it's some kind of fattish jar, it will work. Okay, so here we go. We're going to get started on this. I'm using a 24 peg loom, and I am going to make a slip knot right here. Making a slip knot, and I'm going to place that on my anchor peg. Alright, and so we're going to start with a drawstring cast on. So I come in between the first and the last peg, right from the anchor peg, and we're going to weave in and out every other peg. Just zigzag through there. And we do want to push these down because we're going to put some yarn above them. You may hear a little bit of squeaking sound. That is the birds. Okay, so now we're to the last peg, and we're just going to lay that over the last peg and come up behind this first peg, and then just lay the yarn all the way around. You can do this in smaller sections if you need to. You don't have to do the whole thing at one time. Now, I have this yarn that I have around here, this top string of yarn. I don't have it pulled super tight. It's just comfortably, so I can definitely pull it out a little. So I'm not holding it super tight. It's just comfortably laying there. And then I'm going to take my loom pick and just pull the bottom strand over, and it's every other peg should have 2 strands of yarn. Okay, and we're almost done with our cast on. Alright, so just kind of push those down a little bit. They don't have to go all the way to the bottom, just a little bit lower. Now we're taking our working strand of yarn here, our working yarn. Notice that peg 1 doesn't have anything on it right now. So we have our cast on done, so now we're ready for row 1, and we're going to E-wrap. So we're taking our strand going behind the peg, all the way around and behind the peg again to the next peg, and coming around the front of it and just go around all the way around. And we are using only 1 strand of yarn for this project, and it's going to be very holey, and that's the way we want it. Okay, so now peg 1 still only has 1 piece of round, yarn over it, and that's fine. That's what we want. So just skip peg 1. I'm going to go ahead and just latch over my last one to secure my yarn to keep it from coming undone. And we're skipping peg 1, and so I'm going to do peg 2 and move on from there and go all the way around, just bringing the bottom loop over the top loop and over the peg. And this doesn't take much time at all to do this. Alright, and we are finished with row 1. Okay, so just push these down a little bit, as far as you want to. You don't have to do them all the way down. Okay, and so for row 2, we're going to E-wrap all the way around again. So continue to do this. I'm going to continue to do this for a few rows, and then I'm going to meet back up with you. Okay, I have E-wrapped around 15 rows. That's not counting the cast on row. That doesn't count. I started at row 1, and I have 15 rows now. And so if you're using this bubble fishbowl vase, or if you're using another glass vase, what you can do is turn your loom over and kind of stick your vase or jar, whatever you're using, stick it down in there and just pull it up and see how it's fitting on there to see if you need to go some more. And this, I do want it to be very tight, and I want it to be loose. So I'm going to stop here at 15 rows and go ahead and cast off. Now I had another different size jar here. It's actually a candle jar. You might have something like that you want to use, and you could just slide that in there and see about your rows with that. See how you want it to go. So just whatever, glass vase you're using, just keep trying it on there to see. But for this particular one, I E-wrapped 15 rows. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap my yarn all the way around. I'm just going to wrap it one time because I do not need a long tail. And I'm going to snip it right there. And I'm just going to do the drawstring cast off and pull. My loops are way down and that's throwing me off there. Just pull your yarn up through each loop on every peg. We're almost back to the beginning. Okay, and then just pop off all your stitches off of your pegs all the way around. Make sure your tail here doesn't get lost. Alright, we almost have our project completed. Let's put our loom away and get your vase again. And we're going to pull our fabric down over our project. Now this top part, remember we did a drawstring cast on and we did a drawstring cast off or bind off. So we pull both of our tails tightly. Okay. Now I'm going to take my tapestry needle and I'm going to want to use this jar for different projects coming in the months that are coming up. So I'm just going to pull that tight and then I'm going to take my yarn and just run it down. If you know that this is the only project you're going to use your jar or vase for, then you can certainly tie it off. But I'm going to just run my yarn down to the bottom and still, pull that where it's tight around the top. It's wanting to twist on me, but that's okay if it does. I don't need such a long tail down here, so I'm going to just snip that off. So these are about the same, and I'm just going to make this be the back of the jar, and I'm going to tuck these tails in here. That way the jar is reusable and this isn't tied on there, but you can definitely tie and knot yours at the top and the bottom. Alright, so we have our jar with turning it into a pumpkin, and you see it's very holy, and that's what we want. Now, if you want to, you could use this as a candy jar. You could fill it with candy and have a pumpkin with a candy jar. This time I'm not going to do that, so I'm going to dump my candy back out. And I'm going to do eyes on it. So I took an index card and I just drew a little triangle and cut it out with some scissors. We don't want, you know, like huge eyes. We just wanted some. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this as a little template, a piece of scrap felt that I have. And I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just using this as a little template to cut out triangles. I need 3 triangles. Now this doesn't have to be perfect. I've never seen anyone carve a pumpkin perfectly, so it doesn't have to be exactly perfect. There's a little triangle. And I'm going to cut one more. Well, actually 2 more. I need 3 altogether. Okay, so there's 2 triangles. And I need 1 more. I'm going to snip this off so I can cut it better. Okay, so I have 3 triangles there, and we're going to need a mouth. So I'm just going to cut some kind of smiling mouth. Like I said, you know, this doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to kind of cut curved. Let's see about what size mouth I need. I think I'm going a little big there. So I'm just kind of trimming this up. And just fiddle with it and get it to the shape that you like. Alright, I think that will do for me. Now, if you wanted to, if you know how to crochet and you wanted to crochet your eyes, then you could get your yarn, slip knot, and chain 5. Single crochet into the second chain, half double crochet into the next chain, and then double crochet into the last 2 chains. And so that gives you a triangle also. And then you would just leave a little tail for sewing it on and cut your yarn, tie it off there. Alright, so you could make triangles with, you know, crocheting if you prefer to do that. And then for the mouth, I would just chain a little row and then like slip stitch back and make a little smiling mouth. Okay, but for today I'm going to use felt for this project. So I'm going to see my triangles and see which one I want to use, how I want to use it. Okay, I think I'm going to do my eyes and mouth like this. So what I'm going to do is, I bought this glue. It's just an all-purpose fix-it adhesive. I bought it at the Dollar Tree. I'm going to put some on the back of this and just put that on there. Like I said, this doesn't have to be perfect. Don't fret over that. It will be cute no matter what you do. And then where did my mouth go? Oh, did I throw it away? Here it is. I lost my mouth. Okay. And I'm just putting a small amount of glue on this. Let me close that up before I make a mess. Okay, now this is what else I got at Dollar Tree when I purchased my vase. I also got tea lights. I found an orange one. They also have these white ones. So we're going to try the orange one in there and see what that looks like. It went off. When I dropped it, I don't know if it turned it off or what happened. Well, it goes off when it goes in. Okay, well, so that's not going to work for this probably. But I did find some other lights. So I found this little strand of copper wire with lights, and it needed 2 AA batteries, so I bought those at Dollar Tree also. And I'm just going to stick that in the bottom and stick my strand of lights in there and let that curve around. And there we go. There is my pumpkin Loom knit holiday project. It's great for the fall decor or Halloween decor. And there we go. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and keep watching for more tutorials coming up. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you all.